This is Malcolm341. In today's video, we're going to look at a free update to the transform tools. I've added a new tool that was requested and made some of the other tools easier to use, so let's check it out. Okay, so first up, I've added this new button to the shelf, which is called Snap to Center. Basically, what that does is the person that requested it wanted to be able to take a single transform and basically duplicate that to every face center. I think they wanted to use it to place bolts on their model. And so I've got that working. So how the tool works is pretty easy. You basically just select some faces or other components. So let's say I wanted to put this object to the center of each one of these faces. And then you just hold shift and select the object that you want to snap there, and you click the ST cent. So we'll click it, and boom, there you go. So it just aligns all of those objects to the center of the currently selected components. This will also work on any component type. So if we selected some vertices, for example, let's do these ones. It's just going to grab the average normal of that component and like stamp the object there. So select this and click the ST cent, and boom, there you go. So it aligns them there, and then it's cool. You can like scale them or whatever because they're actually aligned to that normal. They'll be aligned correctly, so you could actually like move it around like that and keep it on the surface, if that makes sense. The rotation of the object that it's going to snap to doesn't matter. So here I'll just like rotate this like arbitrarily or whatever. And then I'm just going to go up into modify and freeze transform. So there's no transform information or rotation information there. And the transform of the other object that you're going to snap to with, it doesn't really matter, but what matters probably is the rotation. Whatever rotation you have here, it should be correct. Like you should be able to zero it out. And then it does matter which way the object is facing. So it's going to get stamped along positive Y. So the bottom of positive Y is going to stamp to the surface. So make sure that your object has some sort of correct transform, or you might get undesirable results. So for example, it doesn't really matter that my object's at 0 or anything like that. And then whatever this transform is like that. And I'm just going to go modify, freeze transform on that as well. And that should be fine. What matters is that it faces Y up. So same thing. Let me select some vertices, whatever. I'll just grab some, whatever. Shift select the object you want to snap with. Click it. And boom, there you go. Moved it to all of the verts. So that's pretty cool. Let's do another one for fun here. This tool is pretty slow because it needs to like loop through every single component and find its normal and then move the thing there. So I don't recommend doing it on really high poly objects, but here, let's just do this for fun. Just grab all the verts of this, let's say. Actually, let's do faces instead so it goes to the center of those. Sure, whatever, good enough. Shift select this guy and then click it. And it's going to go through, do its thing, and boom, there you go. So it just aligned all of those to each face normal of the component selection that we had. So pretty cool. I hope people enjoy this tool. It can be handy for a lot of different things. So it of course works on edges as well. So you could select from here to here, let's say, and then shift select and click it. And boom, you get all of these aligned to the edge center along their normal. So you can use this to do a variety of different things, which is pretty cool. Here's another fun one. Scale this down to, I don't know, let's say like that. And then select all the verts of this object and shift select the sphere and click it. And boom, there we go. I'm just going to turn the wireframe off. And you can create a funky looking, I don't know, fake vertex wireframe of your object, which is neat. I don't know, that's just fun to do. Okay, so some other improvements and changes that I've made to this script pack is I've updated the rebuild transform tool and the face Y tool to not only be a lot faster on high poly meshes, but I've also changed the way that they work to be more intuitive and more useful, in my opinion. So before, to use these tools, you'd click the button first, and then you'd choose a single component, and then it would like run the script. And I've changed the way that that works. So the reason that I had written it that way in the beginning is I didn't know how to write it any other way. And recently I learned a better way to do this, so I've updated these two tools to be easier to use. So this object's been rotated arbitrarily, and I'm just going to go to Modify and Freeze Transformations. And I'm going to select a face. You can select any component. You can do an edge, vert, whatever. But the old way, you'd click this and then choose one. With this one, you choose first, which feels more like all the other tools in Maya and all the other tools I've written. Choose a face, for example, and you click the Rebuild button. And it goes boom, and then it rebuilds the transform along that face. So it regenerates the rotation and the translation. And so now you can do things like scale along that axis or whatever, or rotate, snap along that axis. So that is super helpful, and it's just an easier way to use it. It's more intuitive. You click this, and then you click the button. Along with that, you'll notice when you use the rebuild transform, it now rebuilds the pivot to the correct spot as well. So if the pivot is there and I click rebuild, see now the pivot doesn't like stay down here or whatever. So let's say I've moved my pivot over there and I want to rebuild transform using this face. It's going to go wherever the manipulator is. So I click rebuild. And I just find that a lot more useful because often I'm rebuilding the transform just so I can scale from a point. So that's a lot quicker. And I think that people will like that better. Okay, let's just go modify freeze transform one more time just so we can show this tool. So what face Y does is it tries to just rotate or unrotate your object to make that component face Y up, or if you're working in Z up, face Z up. And again, I've changed the tool so it just works on selecting the component first. So if we select the component and click face Y up, boom, it unrotates the object. So this is super helpful. I use this all the time when I'm modeling something. I need to get it back on a right angle. This is super powerful. So if we select this face, go face Y, goes along there on that one. So face Y along the square, then the square is up. Because it rotates, and sometimes it rotates like randomly, the face Y might be flipped the wrong way. I haven't figured out how to get that to not do that. It's actually why I modeled this stuff on the side here, because when it pops, you're like, wait, did it actually flip the right way? Yeah, it is. So this is going to be facing Y up. So click it and see that is now facing Y up based on the average normal. And then same with like this one. Let's go face Y up. Yeah, so see it's aligned to that. It's best if you select a single face. That is always going to be the easiest way to square it out. So if that's like a nice square there, it's going to square out when it faces Y up. Because this is like a funky shape, and that's like a funky shape, and that's a funky shape, it's going to square up, but like be along that axis. So like rotated 45 or whatever. If you wanted the bottom to face Y up, just click it. Boom, and then it faces Y up. And this tool will use the center of the object to rotate the object just because so it doesn't like pop all around the screen, because if it used the component or your existing pivot, it might like fly off the screen. So I found the best way was to just center the pivot first and then rotate it that way. So if you select here, for example, and click it, it kind of just rotates it, unrotates it. Same with this. Click it, it unrotates it to that angle. This one face this up. So yeah, so it doesn't like fly away. And then as well, these scripts rely on the bake pivot command from Maya. And we recently learned that the bake pivot command has a bug in it, which causes it to run extremely slow on meshes that have more than like, I don't know, 10,000 verts in them, let's say. And I was able to speak to an Autodesk engineer, and he confirmed that that's a bug and it shouldn't be that slow. And they might fix that in a future version of Maya, but that doesn't really help us for our current versions of Maya. So I was able to come up with a hack to actually trick the bake pivot command to run fast. And so I've implemented that hack in these tools as well. So when we go to do a face Y or a rebuild transform, it should be really quick. So I'm just going to combine these two objects here. Let's do a clean combine. Okay, so this thing's got like 40,000 verts. Yeah, so that would be like painfully slow if you use the Maya bake pivot command on it. So I'm just going to rotate this arbitrarily, modify, freeze transforms, and then I'm going to do a face Y. I'll use that face so we can see that it's actually going back out or whatever, and click it. And boom, yeah, it takes about like 3 seconds. So that would probably take 3 minutes, depending on how many verts you have. If you have 50,000 verts, it could take up to 20 minutes or something. So yeah, it's just like a bug. And I have got a hacky workaround that works. So we can do it in 3 seconds. If you've already purchased the Mega Script Pack, the Modeling Pack, or the Single Script, this will be a free update, so you just need to download the same file again from your original email link to get the new stuff. If you haven't purchased the script yet, you can grab the script by itself in the Modeling Pack, or you can get it in the Mega Script Pack, so take your pick. Thanks very much for watching this video. Without viewers like you, this channel would not exist. If you like this video and enjoy the channel, please support me by purchasing something from the online store. Each purchase goes towards creating more video content and keeps the channel ad-free. See you next time. Have a delightful day.